U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland is doing what he's supposed to do and taking some steps forward. We can look at this headline: a special counsel will probe government documents at Biden's home and private office. Garland named former Justice Department official Robert Hur to conduct the high-profile inquiry. The paperwork authorizing Hur's appointment said he is authorized to probe possible unauthorized removal and retention of classified documents or other records. This reporting is coming from NPR. Now, of course, the former president, Donald J. Trump himself, no surprise there, had something to say on Truth Social when the news first broke out. When is the FBI going to raid the many homes of Joe Biden, perhaps even the White House? These documents were definitely not declassified. Now, Trump doesn't have much room to talk, but nevertheless, he's doing that talking. He congratulates Biden. You scored the GOP and mega folks more political point. And Max, you were making that point about putting gasoline on the fire and how the Republicans would indeed use this as political fodder. And we know if the shoe was on the other foot, which it was, Democrats have indeed done the same thing. And this dizzying pace that the American people are being put through is really not good for what government should be focusing its attention on, which is really helping to change the material conditions of the people of this country. Max, what do you think? You think this is gonna go on and on and on and on and on with no end in sight?
Oh, I think that's the real challenge facing Biden right now. I mean, and the larger challenge, which Republicans of course don't care about, is that it seems like from Trump to Biden that these classified documents are not actually that secure. They seem to leave the White House a lot. So maybe we need to be looking into making those more secure as well. But in the meantime, Joe Biden now has some tough questions to answer about how those documents got next to his car and why he seems to be almost making light of it on something that I think Americans don't find that funny.
Yeah, Max, very good point that, how did these documents get out in the first place and what should be done? And yeah, he does seem to have a very cavalier attitude about this because I think, oh, well, I'm the president and it happened. The challenge to that is that we just went through this with President Trump and it does, if pushing for accountability should not be partisan. And that is the major point here. And that's why Garland had to do what he is doing right now. So Trump really doesn't have much room to talk, but he is doing it. And he's feeling like his team, his attorneys reportedly believe that this is really good for them and it may very well be good for them. So you scored on your own team's goal. Someone needs to primary this man or else we're looking at either Trump or Ron DeSanctimonious in 2024 and maybe beyond. I mean, a lot of chatter about that is going on. And naturally, there's been a compare contrast with Biden's docs versus Trump's docs by neoliberals and the GOP shills. Check out this tweet from a right winger, Tom Elliott, when he put up the comparison. He knew this was going to happen. CNN already downplaying Biden's theft of classified documents, and we had the comparison. That comparison, though, is coming from CNN, and we see, under 12 documents, 160 plus secret documents, some top secret documents for Joe Biden, 60 top secret, and on and on and on. Really just a true, pure compare and contrast coming from CNN, despite what Tom Elliott had to say. He did put up the graphic from CNN. And here is more media spin on this. Take a look.
There are differences in what happened.
Yes, but the evidence are not good.
Well, we all know that Trump is a liar and a thief. We know that. So it's not that big a jump to say that he obstructed and he lied. We don't think that Biden is a liar and a thief, so we give him the benefit of the doubt. That's probably what's going on.
We learned that Joe Biden, fresh from lecturing us about how Donald Trump is a criminal because he had unauthorized possession of secret documents, that very same Joe Biden himself had unauthorized possession of secret documents. Joe Biden is so virtuous, he has transcended temporal law. It's not a crime when he does it.
There are differences, but you can't make this stuff up. But there are differences. For example, how many documents? In Biden's case, there appear to be about 10. In the case of President Trump, hundreds.
When you have Karl Rove busting out the whiteboard, it's really something else. We really have entered the twilight zone. Politicians, especially presidents, love to say no one is above the law, but yet here we are. This really is like two students cheating on an exam. I want you to follow me because my teaching spirit is coming out. With one admitting to the teacher that they cheated and claiming they should not get penalized for telling on themselves. I mean, this is really what this is coming down to. While the other just plain cheated and didn't tell anyone. No matter how you slice it, Biden and Trump both feel some kind of way if they believe being president or vice president means they don't have to follow the duties of their office. And this particular point should not be partisan. It is about right and wrong. And it should not matter which team you're on and which team you are rooting for if you believe in standing up for what is right and for what is wrong, even if you do happen to be very fond of one of these two people. If they did wrong, you gotta be willing to call it out. And what will happen? Well, nothing for them. Trump is still running. President Biden is most likely gonna announce another run himself. So we'll keep getting spin from both sides. What it comes down to is all of this BS from both sides. From both sides. One side just puts a little sugar on their BS. Max, I'll let you have the last word in this segment.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And I think it shows the double standard in government. It took almost a year and a half, 550 days for the DOJ to announce an investigation into Trump after stealing 300 documents. It took a month for Joe Biden. I mean, with these standards of justice, it is remarkable that we make any progress at all. And quite frankly, we don't.
That is true. And I think it's also the reason why people are really losing faith in institutions, because they just don't see things meted out fairly, especially when it's something this clear cut about for both of them. This should not be up for debate. We gotta have an investigation and let the chips fall where they may.